Hey, this is a quick run through of where we are so far on the structuredprompt.com site. Um, I'm logged in as a new user who has no prompt, so I'm going to add my first prompt. I'll name it, and the name is just for my purposes. It doesn't appear on the prompt itself, so I'm going to call this my best day ever under task, and I can activate and deactivate these various parts of the prompt. So, if I just wanted task, I could deactivate role and create, but in this case, I want task, role, and create. So, as a task, I'll describe your best day ever. For the role, I'm going to just choose a predefined role, and I'll select author, so it's very generic. I can also enter a custom role if I want to and put in anything that I want to. And then for create, I'll tell it to, let's see, I'll just have it write 200 words. And submit. So there's my prompt. So if I view that, I can see just the basic JSON that it generated for that prompt. So at this point, this is a little rough. I have to actually go in, highlight and copy and paste. Eventually, I'll have a copy to clipboard button there. So I'll copy that, head over to ChatGPT, and paste in my prompt. And it's going to give me an almost random, description of someone's best day ever. So involves a beach, they have a delicious breakfast sitting on the porch, etc., etc. And it's probably going to be different each time I enter that prompt. So now I can go back and make it a little bit more specific. So I'll go to my prompts, and I'll edit the prompt we just created, and I'm going to apply some rules to this task. So I'll check yes, and I'll start adding some rules, some task-specific rules. So one rule is that it must take place in Maine. It must involve eating lobster. We'll just add those for now. The author, we can add some role-specific rules for the author. So let's make our author uses a lot of exclamation points in his writing. And we can get as specific as we want. He's the author is a man. The author is a high school English teacher. And so on and so on. Create, we're writing 200 words. Let's add some additional rules to the create statement. So we'll must use the word Bayside at least twice. Let's use the phrase Rocky Beach. Let's have it written in a Cajun dialect. And actually, I'm not escaping those quotation marks, so I'm going to make those single quotes manually. This will escape it eventually. So I'm going to hit submit and go back to view our prompt. And so this is quite a bit more JSON this time. I'm going to copy it all out, and it's much more specific. So now we're it's got to take place in Maine. They have to eat lobster. use exclamation points in their writing. It's written by a high school teacher. Cajun dialect, and they have to use Bayside and Rocky Beach, those specific words in the description. So let's try it again. So now it starts right off with a Cajun dialect. It covers the major plot point of lobsters and takes place in Bayside. It pulled in all those elements. So it's a much more specific prompt than our original. And if I run this again and again, I'm going to get, probably different variations or something more similar to this each time I run it. So I'm going to have a lot more control. The last thing we'll look at is back to my prompts. I'm going to edit it one more time. I'll enable the freeform option. And with freeform, you can just basically add whatever JSON attribute you want to. So I'm going to add a freeform attribute. Let's call it language. And we'll call that French. We'll just add that one attribute, but I can keep building as many of those as I want to. And the attribute values can also have more than one value in the list, just like the rules up here. So you can start building some pretty complex JSON statements using that. So I'm going to submit that again. View it one more time. Here you see our language French is added to the end. Copy all that and come back and paste it. And so now here's a new version of this story. Not written in French. I'm going to regenerate. The first time I did this, it was written in there. There it goes. Or nope. Well, some is written in French. Yeah, it is written in French, actually. Okay. So I had to regenerate. So not consistent there. I think it would be more consistent if I put must be written in French under the create prompt. But anyway, it does give you more control, and it's definitely something to experiment with. But once you have this, you've got it in your library. I can create a duplicate of this now and edit the duplicate, and you could change made in North Carolina and the food rule, and plug in some different places and come up with some very similar content. So that's kind of where it is at this point. Thanks for watching.